Welcome to Connected Change Management Training. In this training module, you will learn about different change types, how to create a change, assess risk, add configuration items, assign tasks, submit and review changes, approve changes, close changes, and post-implementation review. There are 4 different types of changes. Click on each to hear more. Emergency changes are changes to the production environment meant to restore lost service or to improve severely degraded performance or usability for a large number of users. This type of change is typically used to resolve high-priority incidents. The emergency change model is high risk because of the urgency to fix the issue and the minimal time in which to test the change. It may be relatively uncertain if the change will succeed, and there may be a severe impact on the business if it fails. Therefore, this type of change should be used as little as possible. Urgent changes are not emergencies, but their implementation typically cannot be delayed until after the next meeting of the Change Advisory Board. These changes are presented to the Emergency CAB for review. A quick meeting may be held to review the change with the coordinator and the Emergency CAB. Both the Risk Impact Assessment and Director Approval must be attached to the request for change. Director approval acknowledges the director's acceptance of increased risk due to the reduced review and quick implementation. If an urgent change is submitted, but the requested start date falls after the next CAB, the change will be reviewed at the CAB meeting. A standard change is a modification that is low risk. It has been proven to be successful, has minimal business impact, and has a set of release procedures that are specific and well documented. The first 3 requests for a standard change require both a risk impact assessment and CAB approval. Once those changes are closed successfully, the 4th request is approved as a standard change and will then only require manager approval. A normal change is an action that results in a new status for one or more configuration items and does not fit into the definition of emergency, urgent, or standard.
Olivia, I'm working on a project and I need to request a change. I haven't done this before. Could you help me navigate change and connect it?
I'd be glad to help. The change management process ensures standardized methods are used for handling all changes. All changes are recorded in the configuration management system, and overall business risk is minimized. First, I'll show you how to open a new change order. To create a new change, from the Service Desk tab and Connect It, click on the New Change icon, which looks like a piece of paper with a pencil. You could also choose New Change Order from the File menu. The Create New Change Order window will pop up. All fields labeled with an asterisk are required. Start by adding the name of the change requester. Next, click the word Category to choose the one that best fits the work being requested. The affected end user will populate based on information in other fields. These fields can be edited if need be once the change has been saved. Select the appropriate priority and then the type. Most changes will be normal. If you are not sure of the type, you can always check with the change manager. Choose the correct local CAB by clicking the words Local CAB to search or by typing in the field. Add an appropriate peer approver who will double-check the change details. Next, Select the impact to the business and the need by date, which is the latest date by which the change should be implemented. In the field marked Order Summary, type out a short, meaningful title. And in the Order Description field, describe the work that will be done and the expected end result. Last, fill in the scheduled start date, which is when you would like the change window to start, and the scheduled duration for the change in hours and minutes. After adding all the required information, choose Save. Business justification must be completed for every change. On the Open Change record, choose Edit at the top of the form. Scroll to the bottom of the page and select the tab labeled Additional Information. Next, click on the Properties tab and enter the business justification into the field provided. Click Save to complete the action. Downtime is defined as the amount of time for which a service is not available to its customers. If a change requires downtime, on the Open Change record, choose Edit at the top of the form. Scroll to the bottom of the page and select the tab labeled Additional Information. Next, choose the Cost and Plans tab, then complete the downtime fields. Choose Save to finish this task.
The change I want to implement will impact the business in a positive way, but I really don't know how to assess the risk.
A risk impact assessment survey is required for all changes prior to approval and connected. I'll show you how to use this feature. To complete the Risk Impact Assessment Survey, click the blue button labeled Risk Survey at the top of the Open Change Order. This opens a new window displaying the risk survey. Carefully choose the appropriate answer for each question to determine the risk score for the change. After you have answered each question and have read the security section, click the radio button to the left of the last statement on the page, which states, "By selecting Submit, you are confirming that you have read the Security and Privacy Impact Assessment Guidance." Select Submit only when you are absolutely sure the Risk Impact Assessment Survey is completed accurately, as there is currently no way to edit after submission. If you would like to view the risk survey outside of Connected, press Ctrl-P to print. After submitting the risk survey, the risk field on the change order will be populated with the risk score. Each request for change must include at least one configuration item. To add impacted CIs to the Open Change Order, scroll to the bottom of the page and click the tab labeled Configuration Management. Then, click the tab labeled Configuration Items. Next, click the blue button labeled Update CIs. This opens the Configuration Item search window. There are several ways to search for a CI. One way is to type the name or partial name of a CI family into the search form. Click Search. Choose the appropriate CI from the list of available configuration items. Select it by clicking the name, then click the blue arrow button pointing to the right to add your selection to the list of configuration items. If you make a mistake and add the wrong one, select it in the list on the right and click the arrow pointing to the left to remove it. Click the OK button at the top of the CI window to complete this step. Assigning change tasks must be done prior to CAB approval. To add a task to a change order, on the Service Desk tab of Connected, click on the File menu, then select New Change Order from Template. Select the template titled Change Task. Complete the required fields. Be sure to populate the assignee field. This will identify the resource to whom the task is being assigned. It is very important to include the parent change order information on the task. Go to the Related Tickets tab and then select the Related Orders tab. Type in or search for the parent change order number. This links the task to the change request. Click Save to complete the association of the task to the parent change order. A message will display that shows the task has been saved. Verify the task has been added to the change request by checking the Related Tickets section. After it's been documented in the change order, the change will be ready for Change Manager review, which happens at the beginning of the change process to ensure all necessary details are incorporated and accurate. When the change order is initially saved, the requester will receive email with a link to click to submit the change to the Change Manager. No matter how early the change requester clicks the Submit to Change Manager link, the change will not be moved along in the workflow until after the configuration items and risk assessment survey have been added. If the change order is submitted prior to adding the configuration items and risk assessment survey, the requester will receive an additional email message indicating the change manager cannot review until those items have been completed. Requester, Reviewer, Implementer, Approver. If you fit within any of these roles within the change management process, you will be required to complete actions in the IT Process Automation Tool, or ITPAM. Each time you are required to complete action within ITPAM, you will first be notified with email, which contains the link to ITPAM. Click on the link to log in. On the ITPAM home screen, all the pending workflow tasks that have been assigned to you will be displayed in a small window. To view the tasks in a larger window, click on the tab at the top right labeled Operations. To view the details of a PAM task, double-click on that task. This window will also contain the link to the originating change order. Click this to view full details of the change if needed. An optional comment field allows the user to add notes to the task. This is best used if this is a rejected approval or the task will be transferred or delegated to someone else. There are two required fields on the task window. The first is time spent. This can be completed by typing in the number of minutes spent on the task. The arrow buttons on this field will also increase or decrease the minutes. The second required field is labeled Choice. Click the drop-down button to view the available choices. Click Finish and Save to close the task. Notice the checkbox to the left of the Task ID column in the ITPAM Operations tab. Checking the box to the left of an individual task allows the operations at the top of the page to be completed. They include Reply, Take, Delegate, and Transfer. The operations available depend on the status of the task. Outside of the Change Advisory Board approval and the Change Manager approval, there are two approvals that happen for each normal change. The Technical Manager has two responsibilities for approving changes. reviewing all of the configuration items associated with this change that he owns. Each affected CI identified must be approved by the manager who owns that CI. The manager is approving that the specific CI can be modified by this change during the identified time frame. An individual email will be sent for each CI, which means a manager might get more than one email from a specific change request if he has multiple affected CIs. When a technical manager approves the change request to move forward, this means the manager is approving the resources to perform the work needed to complete the change request. The peer approver has to verify that every aspect of the change appears to be accurate and complete. This includes the design, build, test, backout plan, post-implementation test plan, and configuration items affected. It is critical that the assignee verify all of the activities are complete and accurate, since the peer will be reviewing these activities before he approves. The peer will send the change back to the assignee if there are missing documents or incorrect information. This may delay the approval of the change request and cause the change to miss the implementation window. When the implementation phase begins, the assigned group receives an email notification from IT PAM. This implementation task must be completed after the change implementation is complete. The team member responsible for the change clicks on the link and locates the task in the task list in IT PAM. This task lists several options relating to CIs. Select one. If a CI was updated or needs to be added, notification is sent to the configuration analyst to make the required changes to the configuration management database. At the bottom of the task window, select a status of either implemented or, if the change did not complete successfully, back out. Click Finish to complete the task. After the implementation task is completed in IT PAM, open the change order and connect it and click Edit. Scroll to the bottom and choose the Additional Information tab. Then click the Cost and Plans tab. Update the actual implementation start date and time and the actual implementation end date and time. Click Save to finish the update. Once the configuration analyst updates the CMDB as appropriate, the change manager will then update the change order with the appropriate closure code. The purpose of performing a post-implementation review, or PIR, is to learn how to improve future implementations. Understanding the reasons for a failure can make future changes more successful. It is preferable to perform a PIR after every change to determine if any improvements can be implemented. However, due to resource constraints, that is not possible. A post-implementation review meeting can be led by the change manager, a change coordinator, or anyone on the implementation team. After a PIR meeting, the PIR document should be completed to record the results. To complete a PIR document, go to the Connected Service Catalog by clicking on the Browse Catalog Services link on the Connected homepage. If you do not see this option, set your role as employee and try again. Select the option labeled IT Service Management, which is only available for ITS employees to see. Next, select the link to SBAR and PIR and click the button labeled PIR. The PIR form will open in the browser window. All fields on the form are required. In the change order number field, type in the change number you reviewed in the PIR meeting. In the PIR date field, add the date the PIR meeting was held. Fill out the prevention and action sections as thoroughly as possible. There is an option to add additional notes by clicking the button labeled Add Note, located at both the top of the page and the bottom. The Attach File button will allow you to include any type of document with the PIR. When complete, click Submit. All PIR documents submitted will automatically open a problem record, which will be reviewed by the problem manager for follow-up actions. If you have any questions about post-implementation review, ask the change manager or another member of the IT service management team. This concludes the Connected Change Management Training. If you have questions, contact the change manager or type ITSM into your browser for additional resources.